Torchbearers from the Tennessee Volunteers, 36-23 win over Vanderbilt. And there's a lot of different directions we could go for a lot of different players. And so I wasn't exactly sure where to go on defense. You got to give a shout out to Joshua Josephs, who had a tackle for a loss and a pass deflection. Omar Norman Lott, Bryson Easton both assisted on tackles for a loss. Jackson Moore had a key tackle for a loss. Tyree West had a safety. Jalen McMurray had a pass breakup. But my first, and Arian Carter led the team in tackles, 7 total, 3 solo, 1 pass deflection, and assisted on a tackle for a loss. But my actual first torchbearer in this game is, believe it or not, Will Brooks. And the reason Will Brooks is because Diego Pavia, except for that one touchdown drive in the fourth quarter, was totally and utterly useless in this game. Brooks also had a key fourth down stop. I talked to you guys earlier about the turning point of the game. That fourth down stop was the turning point of the game. So because of that, Will Brooks has to be a torchbearer. I can't ignore what he was able to do right there. He gets a helmet sticker. Congratulations to Will Brooks. He's been one of the best stories and best players for Tennessee all year long. He finished the game with 4 total tackles, 1 solo, but he assisted on a tackle for a loss. And if you look at Diego Pavia's stat line, again, was 5 of 19 until that touchdown drive for 35 yards. He finished 8 of 17 for 104 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. But 5 of 19. One of the only reasons he looked even semi-decent from there and not even worse was because Tennessee took their foot off the gas. But the biggest reason he struggled was because of players like Will Brooks, who did an incredible job. You just got to give credit to the secondary as a whole. They played an amazing game. And you're going to notice that as I go on. But Will Brooks definitely is a torchbearer from this game. Our next torchbearer, Dylan Sampson. Now, Dylan Sampson did fumble again early. He also didn't have a touchdown in this game. But he had a career high in running the ball. He had 25 carries for 178 yards, averaging over 7 yards a carry. Most notably, he got hurt twice in this game. He got hurt at one moment and had to be pulled and came back in. Deshaun Bishop was in for him and actually got a penalty, which almost hurt Tennessee. And then he got hurt late in the game. We think he's okay, but Dylan Sampson twice got hurt. And the reason he's a torchbearer is when Vanderbilt cut it to 36-23, Tennessee got the ball with just under 6 minutes to go. They had to hold on to the ball and hold on to the lead because Vanderbilt could have made it a 1-score game earlier. And all Tennessee did was give Vanderbilt a healthy dose of Dylan Sampson. Starting at their own 20 with 5:51 left, Dylan Sampson ran for 2 yards, then he ran for 3 yards, and then on 3rd and 7, he ran for 20 yards. Then after Iamaleava 10-yard run, Sampson ran for 15 yards. Those plays are what gave Tennessee the chance to run off the clock. Dylan Sampson, again, he should have been a Doak Walker finalist. It's a travesty that he wasn't. But he absolutely gets a torchbearer. Dylan Sampson gets a helmet sticker. Honestly, and this is a helmet sticker throughout the whole year to close out the regular season. Dylan Sampson's play was a big part of why Tennessee is going to the college football playoff, because he was just incredible throughout the season, ran hard. Yes, there were the fumbles. Yes, those need to be worked on. But as a player and as a whole, you can't help but fall in love with Dylan Sampson and how hard he runs. And once again, he's a torchbearer. This could be a seasonal achievement award, but he got a career high in rushing totals. So while Iamaleava had his best game in certain aspects, Sampson may have had his best game too, even though he didn't score a touchdown. I also want to point out that Dylan Sampson coming into the game had, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm going to pull this up for you guys real quick, 1,370 yards. 1,307 yards. I do believe now, with the numbers that he got in this game, on that final drive, I think he broke Travis Stevens' record for rushing yards in a single season. You can check me on that, but yes, he broke Travis Stevens' yard for a single season rushing record. He's at 1,485. Now, Dylan Sampson, now the all-time single-season leader for Tennessee in rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, and points. Major props to Dylan Sampson. Next on our list of torchbearers, Dante Thornton. Thornton got banged up, but he still played awesome. 3 catches for 118 yards and 2 touchdowns. Obviously, the touchdown at the beginning of the game, and then the 86-yard touchdown that was the big play of the game. And truth be told, he should have had another touchdown And Thornton was wide open down the sideline on a play where Eberle just underthrew him. I mean, there's no way around it. Eberle underthrew him. So Thornton could have had 4 catches for 168 yards and 3 touchdowns. I mean, the guy played incredible in this game. He's been incredible all year, particularly given the injuries that faced Brew McCoy and how deep Tennessee had to go at receiver sometimes and the changing schemes to slow down Eberle and what they are able to do. But Thornton himself, again, played incredible. 3 catches for 118 yards. Heck, without the 86-yard gain, he still has 2 catches for 36 yards and a touchdown. So, 2 catches for 32 yards and a touchdown, and should have had 3 catches for over 50 yards and 3 touchdowns. And 2 touchdowns had it not been for that 86-yard touchdown. So, overall, Dante Thornton, absolutely a torchbearer. And again, if I'm not mistaken, because of his play in this game, Thornton ends up finishing the season as the leader of Tennessee in receiving. And yes, I believe he does. He will finish with 25 catches for 647 yards and 6 touchdowns in a rough, difficult year for Tennessee's passing attack that they wanted to be much more than it was. Major props to Dante Thornton. He gets a helmet sticker. He definitely earns a torchbearer. He took advantage of Vanderbilt's defensive schemes. They left a lot of things open over the middle. He opened those things up himself by being such a threat down the sideline. Without Dante Thornton, Tennessee doesn't have the complete offense that it typically does have. So Dante Thornton with an incredible game. And also Thornton himself, we've talked about Sampson with the career high, Nico tying his career high in touchdowns. Thornton also had a career high. This 118 yards is a career high, at least at Tennessee. Now, if you go back and look at his time at other schools, no, it's not. When he was at Oregon, he did have a game where he had 4 catches for 151 yards back in 2022. But at Tennessee, this is a high. So Dante Thornton is a torchbearer. 2 more torchbearers to go from Tennessee's 36-23 win over Vanderbilt. Nico Eberle is a torchbearer. Now, again, there was that massive underthrow down the sideline to Dante Thornton that should have been a touchdown. I'm looking at Nico Eberle's stat line. I just want to say up front, he should have thrown for over 300 yards and had 5 touchdowns with no interceptions. But because of that underthrow, he had 4 touchdowns and 1 interception. But Nico Eberle did finish the game 18 of 26 for 257 yards, 4 touchdowns, and 1 interception. And again, he averaged 9.9 yards per attempt. He also ran it 6 times for 42 yards. Nico Eberle was better protected in this game. He had a lot more help in a lot of ways than he's had all year. Part of that could be just Vanderbilt's inferior level of talent, but it's still an SEC school, and it's a much better Vanderbilt team than has been in years past. So taking all that into account, Eberle's play is definitely worthy of praise. Eberle, again, with 299 yards of total offense, 4 touchdowns. If he just doesn't make that underthrow, we're looking at a quarterback who's 19 of 26 for, I could do the math for you right now, guys, by the way. And I think many of you guys are right. I think he was trying to be so careful to avoid an underthrow that it cost him. But it was at the Tennessee 20. Okay, so if he makes the right throw there, Nico's 19 of 26 for 337 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions, and has 375 yards of total offense. He's got to be able to make those throws. He can't overthrow that or underthrow that, excuse me. But he still earns a helmet sticker. And the final torchbearer, and I think the player of the game, honestly. I started with the defensive player. I started with the defensive back specifically. I'm going to end with the defensive back, Jamal McCoy. Played lockdown defense all game. He shut down any chance Diego Pavia had of making a game out of this. That's why Pavia finished 8 of 17 for 104 yards with 1 touchdown and 1 interception. And as I've talked about, that touchdown was a meaningless touchdown at the end of the game when Tennessee was leading 36-17. Vanderbilt didn't even get the ball back after that touchdown. McCoy had the best interception of the year, where he leaped up when he was outmatched size and strength-wise on what should have been a touchdown pass. He leaped up with one hand and tipped the ball to himself and had it land on him as he landed in the end zone. And with that interception, that really killed what could have been a Vanderbilt drive that could have put them up 3 scores because they had all the momentum at that point. So Jamal McCoy is the player of the game. He is our final torchbearer, and he gets a ton of credit.